this is the session for the USACO track overview. So in the next hour, I'm going to explain what USACO is and then how we prepare students for the contests in the different levels of the computing Olympiad. All right. If you have any question, you can either interrupt me or you can send me a message either to the public or to the using the private message to me. If I don't get your question in the message, right, just let me know. Just raise your hand or raise your voice. Okay, so let me share my screen. And I'm going to stop here. USACO stands for USA Computing Olympiad. The C for computing. The chemistry was Olympiad, right? Was a little bit too late to take the C. So now chemistry, you have to do the N, kind of awkward. Anyway, the USACO is similar to the USAMO, USA Math Olympiad, and USAFO, USA Physics Olympiad. So these are the three major STEM Olympiad contests. So USACO is similar to the others, but also has a something that is different. So in this hour, we're going to explain the similarities and also the differences. All right. So, okay. In this contest, the problems will involve huge amount of the calculations. So this one is different from other contests that may involve the language themselves. For example, right, the linguistic contest, that's different. Or the contest for graphics to show how you process a graphics, how fast you can do the animation, or how creative you can do the games. That's different. Okay, so this part will focus on, the USACO will focus on algorithms and also the underlying mathematics. So in terms of the style, USACO is the closest to IMO. So in IMO, students have 2 days, right? Each day, there will be 3 questions, and the students have to finish within 4.5 hours. So USACO, similar. Each contest, the students would have 3 questions and must be finished within 4 hours or 5 hours, depends. So in this setup, the students have to sit there for a long time and also stay energetic, right? So this one is different from the typical test the kids will have in school. Normally the tests would be maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Well, one exception, SAT used to be longer, so 4 hours. So, but this one is more demanding. So they have to stay energetic, fresh, and be able to solve the questions and be able to identify the problems in the program and try to fix them. Okay, so this is, I always encourage students to build the mental strength to be sharper, to see the questions from different angles. On the other hand, they have to build the body strength, because if they have to sit there for 5 hours, right, they have to be strong. Okay, I recommend a method, some of the kids that practice a lot, that is in the, during the breaks, so in school, right, or in the training. So after an hour, after 2 hours, they're going to do some, say, the competition, say the plank. See who can hold this one the longest. So the plank actually will help them to build the strength. Well, not just the plank, right? Some other exercises. So if you want to have your student to do well in this contest, actually it's not just one, actually in the series, different levels. If you want your student to do well in the path, then please ask your student, right, to work hard, not just on the programming, on the mathematics, coding, right, also on the sports. So we try to help students to develop in both ends. So out of this training, later when they look back, they say, yeah, okay, this one is good, right? Even though I did not make up to the top of the USACO series, but I think I got a strong body. I'm so proud. I'm so happy with it, right? Of course, right, if the student says, okay, I did well in both, that's perfect. All right, so let's talk about more about the contest here. USACO contest, there were 4 levels: bronze level, silver, gold, and platinum. Okay, a little bit different from the other Olympic games or the sports Olympiad, right? You have to fight, you have to compete a lot in the local level, in the country level, so that you become the team to compete in the international Olympiad games. But here, every student, when we start from the bronze level. So before doing anything, a student is called a bronze level student. And if a student passes the bronze level, there is a threshold after taking the 3 problem test. If a student passes through the threshold, then will be promoted to the silver level. And then the student will take the contest in the silver level. Again, 3 questions. If the score is on or above the threshold, then the student will be promoted to gold. Similarly, will be promoted to platinum if a student does well enough. And then there is no other level to go higher. Platinum level students will be evaluated each year nationwide. The top 24 students across USA would be invited to join the training camp. After about 10 days training there, intensive training, 4 students will be chosen to form the USA team to participate in the IOI, the International Olympiad of Informatics. So let me show on this page here, USACO. This past season, 2019 to 2020, the training camp was actually in between May 23rd to 30th. And then the USA team, do we have the team? We do have the team here. These 4 students are the USA team for season 2020. This year, the IOI was supposed to actually, should be there actually, should be in August 2020, but now has been postponed. Actually, we don't know when this will happen. Maybe it will be canceled, similar to the IMO and also the physics Olympiad. Okay, and you see here, right? There are 4 rounds. Look at this one here. There are 4 rounds each year for the USACO contests. This one is different than the USAMO or USAFO. Okay, the first round each year, season actually starts from December. And then in January and February, we're gonna have 2 more rounds. And in March, we're gonna have the last round. And the March round is also called the US Open round. In the first 3 rounds, students have 4 hours to solve the 3 problems. In the US Open round, students have 5 hours to solve the 3 problems. Okay, each round here, December, Jan, Feb, and March, each round, there are all 4 levels of the contest. So if a student does not pass the bronze level in December, then in January, he or she can still start the bronze. But actually, in March, also a student can join in to start the bronze level. So there is no restriction, say December has to be a certain level, Jan has to be a certain level. No, actually every round, every month here, right? You can take any contest. Okay, not any, actually, there is a little caveat here. So in Math Olympiad, right, every year there is actually just one round. Well, two tests, right? You can do say MC10A, MC10B, or AMY A, AMY B. Okay, just one round. But here we have 4 rounds. So suppose in December a student passes bronze level, and then in January, then student does not have to start bronze again. He or she can start silver level there. Or say last year, I was already a silver. This time, December, I will start silver directly. I don't have to repeat bronze anymore. So this is the case, right? Once a silver, always a silver. Once a gold, always a gold. So you don't have to spend the time, or sometimes it's not the time, right? It's the effort. You have to spend 4 hours or close to 4 hours to solve the problems. So this will save you time and actually give you more chances to get promoted. So the very, very rare situation would be, say, in one round here, a student can be promoted from bronze to platinum. How does this work? Well, each round, students have 4 days starting from the Friday, and then a Saturday and a Sunday and a Monday. So in the 4-day weekend, or actually including the weekend, so in the 4-day window, a student can start the contest anytime. So once the student starts, click the button start. If a student register to the contest, and then will be given the start button. Click the button, and then the 4-hour the 4-hour period will start. The clock starts ticking, and then if the students finishes the questions, and then get all the questions correct, get a perfect score, then the student will be promoted to the next level. So if the student starts bronze, get a perfect score, then will be promoted to silver level. And then the next day, well, normally we do not recommend taking the next level on the same day because the student may get tired. So the next day, Saturday, right? The student takes the silver contest and again did perfect, get a perfect score in the silver contest, and it will be promoted to gold level. And kid can take the gold contest on Sunday, and then if do perfect, can be promoted to platinum level. Okay, so in theory, a student can go all the levels just within 4 days. Okay, and you say, how do I know the school, right? Even though the students will take the contest from home, actually can take the test anywhere as long as there is internet connection. So how do you do this one? When the test comes in, this page, there will be a link, say, please click link to the test, the contest. And over there, there is a button say, do you want to start? Once you click the start button, and then the 4-hour period will start. And then how do I know the score? The score is done in this way. Let me, here. Okay, the score is done this. The 3 questions total score would be 1,000 points. So total is 1,000 points, 3 questions. So each question counts 333.33 points. So that's question 1, question 2, and question 3. Each question, we're going to have different test cases. So suppose there are 10 test cases. So I'm going to say divide this by 10 times how many cases the students passes or get the correct answer within the time limit. So this would be the score for question 1. And if question 2 has a different number of the test cases, right? Maybe this would be, say, 12 cases, and times the number of cases the students got the answer correctly within the time limit. That's the score for question 2. The same thing for question 3. Suppose this one is, say, 15, that's fine. Okay, this number may vary. Sometimes maybe 10, maybe 12. The biggest one can go 16, I've seen. But there's no question, right, with, say, 1,000 cases. No, that's never the case. Normally it would be between 10 and then 15. So right after the test, the score is ready. What you know, right? Just add the 3, that will be your score. So if the total score, if it's bigger than the threshold normally would be 750. This number can go higher or lower. If the questions are harder, then the threshold will be lower. The lowest one we have seen would be 600 out of the 1,000. And if the questions are kind of easy compared to other tests, right? Then the threshold may go up, and then the highest one I have seen 850. So anyway, if the total score of your student is on or above the threshold, then the student will be promoted to the next level. The difference is, okay, why there is 6? Okay, that's math. So if you get, say, 10 cases out of 10 right, 12 out of 12 right, 15 out of 15 right? You get the full score, 1,000 out of 1,000. Then the student will be promoted instantaneously. So right after student submitted the last question, and then after maybe 5-10 seconds, the message will be displayed on the screen saying, do you want to be promoted to the next level? And of course, right, you'll be happy to say yes. So after you click yes, theoretically, you can take the next level contest. But again, as I said, right, normally we do not recommend taking 2 tests in the same day. Why? Because after 4 hours, 5 hours, the student is tired. So normally we recommend you take, say, bronze on Friday, silver on Saturday, and then gold on Sunday. Then if the student does well in each one, then will be promoted from bronze level here to platinum. Okay, this one is true, but it's very, very rare. Okay, actually this past season, 2019 to 2020 season, there were a few students got promoted from bronze to platinum, and it turned out they cheated. And then USACO actually got very serious in this past season. And then all those students who were found cheating and got demoted, and actually were were forbidden to take the test anymore. So similar to the Olympiad games, right? The sports games. So when an athlete was found to, say, cheated, then this athlete may be prohibited, right, from entering the contest or the games in 4 years or 8 years. But there, 8 years, that's still fine. The person may still have chance to come in later. But for student, if say within the next 4 years cannot participate, then the student cannot do it anymore, because this one USACO is only available for students before college. So after high school, then the student cannot take the test anymore. So normally we don't see the cheating. Even though this contest is organized online, it is rare to see the cheating. Why? Because USACO does organize the random interview, especially in the higher levels, right? Say, Jack, you passed bronze and got promoted to platinum. So can you talk about this topic in platinum? So if Jack knows it, yeah, good. But if Jack actually cheated, right, actually does not know this one, then this will be bad. And Jack will be demoted or will be banned from participating in the contest in the future. Okay, we don't want to have that. Okay, but okay, for this contest, similar to the USAMO and the USFO and other Olympiad contests for the subject, right? The training or the medals are not the ultimate goal. Actually, this is our belief. We say the training is to help students to develop the idea, the habit to look at hard questions, okay? All these questions in the Olympiad, especially toward the highest levels, right, will be very challenged. So students will have the training, say, when we face a challenge question, how do we do? So the easiest way is say, okay, we give up, right? But we should develop the attitude, right? If we cannot solve the question this way, can we change the viewpoint? Looking the question from a different angle, a different viewpoint, maybe it will be better, right? Or sometimes I cannot solve this question in the whole. Can I solve the question for part of the cases? Right? A partial solution is much, much better than giving up. And many times, right, in the process of finding a partial solution will lead us to a better solution, or sometimes maybe a complete solution. And actually, right, the process, many times we write in math and also some other problems, right? The hard question is like a golden goose. It will help us to develop, more tools to improve our understanding. So this, in our belief, right, in our view, that's the point for the training. Otherwise, to be honest, like the USAMA, the Math Olympiad, with a math background, myself, right, I don't see, the techniques or training, the material, right, in math Olympiad is actually used in the, future math research. It's not. Basically, right, I think the history, the experience of, say, keep changing the viewpoint, think out of the box is far more important. And of course, right, to develop the idea, so don't give up easily. Okay, so I just want to emphasize this one. If this is not what you try to do, what do you think about the, your Olympiad contest? Hopefully this is helpful to you. So don't just say, okay, ask your student, right, Jane, what medal do you have this round? Or Jack, can you make, promotion to the next level? Well, that's not the case. I think say, maybe when you say, Jack, when you look back, what you have learned in the past year and a half, right, in the, the USACO training or the preparation. If Jack says, well, I learned this and this, now I will not give up easily. I think I'm going to change the viewpoint. So that's actually what we would love to hear, we would love to see. Okay. Another thing about these contests, it is the Olympiad contests, math, physics, chemistry, the others, right? Normally they're going to start late January or early February. But USACO will start December. Normally would be starting the third Friday of December. So this year, or last year, right? This was December 2019, that's December 30th. This year, the third Friday should be December 19th. That's right before the Christmas. So very likely that will be the weekend. We're gonna have the first USACO contest. So normally, right, we recommend a student would prepare for the USACO contest in December. And if he or she does well, maybe still have time, the student will still have time to prepare for January round, because that's still the middle, mid-January. And then after this one, normally say, okay, if you have USAMO test, right, then put USACO to the side for a while, and then just focus on USAMO, USFO. And if they do well enough, continue, right? If they say, okay, this year I did not do well in Math Olympiad or Physics Olympiad, they still have time to come back to do the March round. Okay, but keep in mind, it is hard to participate or take the Olympiad contest in math, physics, computer science, all simultaneously. Many times you're going to end up some disappointment. Why? Because you're not competing against with just say, okay, like the AP test, right? That part actually is pretty easy. This one you're competing with also the hardworking students, also smart students. So don't compare that way. So normally I would recommend, say, pick one or at most two that you think you're confident, and then have the different time frames for each one. So focus on one at each time. Don't focus on three simultaneously. Okay, and also compare, not just say, compare Jack, John, Jane, right? Just say compare what you did before, right? Last year I was doing bronze. This year I can do better with much higher confidence. Then I'm happy. Next year I can do gold, right? Then I'm very happy. So compare more against yourself in the past, or in the past 6 months, or in the past 2 months. So I've seen students, right, not going from bronze to platinum in say one round, 1 month, but I do have many students got promoted from bronze to gold within 1 year. That's perfectly doable. Okay, all right. So just want to emphasize here, right? The goal is not just to get the trophy. Well, here there's no trophy. Just said the title, right? Bronze title, silver title, gold title, and a platinum title, and also maybe say invited to the training camp and also join the USACO team. All these are good, but that's not the ultimate goal. We want to help students to gain the valuable experience, try to identify, to discover the passion, the talent. So if they find this experience useful, then I think we're happy. All right, so next, this contest, okay, that's right. This one is one of the subject contests. USACO probably is the fastest growing competition. Okay, among the three, math, physics, computer science, math still has the largest number of the participants. Each year, there are about 300,000 students participating in the USAMO contests. That includes the math counts, AMC 8, 10, 12, AME, JMO, MO. And MO, right? Well, atop the MO, then not much, right? Okay. 300,000, that's far more than the participants in the other two. Physics Olympiad actually for a long time, actually, the number does not change much. Annually, 5,000 students participate in the USAFO, USA Physics Olympiad. That number 5,000 also was the level for USACO, but in the last 2-3 years, the number has grown exponentially. This past season, I think the number has go above 20,000. From when I first learned this one here, 7 years ago, that's say 2,000, 3,000 students, and then 5,000, and then 10,000, and then 20,000. So I would not be surprised in 10 years, the number of students taking USACO contest would be bigger than the number of students taking the USAMO Math Olympiad contests. Okay, because in the next 10, 20 years, the demand in big data, right? We have a lot of data to be processed. We have to do a lot of data mining. We have to do a lot of the, say, artificial intelligence. Then the demand is just there. Not just say students, maybe parents, students, right? Even the academia, right? Pretty much now every CS department in the college, in every college or university, right? They have to have this, the big data for artificial intelligence, for machine learning. That is the focal point, because we just have too much information to be processed. So, okay, so this is the one of the future trends. Okay, I want to say be fair. It is one of the focal points, but not the only one. Okay, as we get more and more happy with life, right? Then people spend more time for entertainment. So graphics still a big component, right? To make games, to make better games, to make movies, to make better animation. So that part, graphics is still a huge component for computer science. Of course, right? That has been combined with, say, art, right? If you want to build good games, animation, then you have to have artists join in, okay? But USACO does not focus on that part. We only focus on the calculation, huge amount of calculation. And if you want to do the rendering, display, animation, that is another topic, another side of computer science. Okay, I'm sorry, there are questions here. See, the student can take the test anywhere as long as there is the internet connection. That's correct. Oh, will the recording be posted? Yes, the recording will be posted to the Google Drive, and then the Google Drive is actually, if you have the announcement, the Google Drive is there. Google Drive is here. The video would be uploaded here, or if it's not, the link will be provided. Depends on the size of the files. If the file is too big to be put in the Google Drive, then we're going to provide the link. All right, so okay, another question. If a student finishes the Java class, will the student be well prepared to take the USACO Bronze? Yes, for sure. That is the purpose. Actually, let me go to the okay, I see. Oh, I did not go to the first window. Okay, so let me go to this one here. A few examples here, and then I'm going to answer the questions about the classes. This is a student, Mr. Lee. He was in USACO Platinum, well-rounded. He went to college last year. Actually, he was one of the students here from Houston, got admission from pretty much every Ivy League universities. So I'm not saying, right, USACO Platinum is the reason for him to get the admission, right? But it helps because he's just say excellent in pretty much every aspect. This student, Mr. Lu, also went to university last year. He went to UPenn, also Platinum. He has interest in artificial intelligence and got very interested in this part. So besides doing this one, he also did some projects for AI, and then he got into UPenn, and then he was very happy. And actually from the feedback, he was very glad he had the experience with USACO now with the study in at UPenn. This student actually has graduated from college. So he was USACO Gold. That's before USACO had the platinum level. So before 2016, there were only 3 levels: bronze, silver, and gold. Platinum was added in season 2016. So he was gold, and he has very strong interest in computer science, and he went to UC Berkeley. And then I didn't follow whether he has stayed in California, joining the big tech companies, or I didn't follow. But his father told me he was very happy at UC Berkeley, and it got very easygoing at in college. Okay, the student is very strong in all 3 subjects in STEM: math, physics, and computer science. And he went to Caltech. Actually, this year went to Caltech. This one is still a rising junior, so very young. Started practicing 8th grade summer. the son of his 8th grader, in the past 2 years has done very well and went to the training camp this past May. He's very smart for sure and hardworking and he's very perseverant. Okay, so if a question he could not solve it, he would just stick with it and try to find out what is the weak point. So practice and try to improve so that he's very fast now for the questions. And actually, I'm happy to see students, and many times I can see, right, for students like this one, if they think hard, and many times they're even faster than I do. Okay, this is something that I'm so proud. And I'm very happy to admit, right? Many times students can think faster than I do, and then they can do better. The code will be even shorter, more efficient, and I'm very happy. So when the students can do better, whenever they have a better idea, whenever they can solve the question in a fast way, in a short piece of code, right? I would always give them a prize. That's good, right? So my philosophy, I would not be happy if the students cannot beat me. On the other hand, I would be so happy if all the students can beat me, especially in the competitive programming. Alrighty, okay. All the other students are male students. This is a female student. She's a rising senior. She was promoted to platinum when she was a sophomore. So also very fast learner, started in her 8th grade. But in the past year and this year, she has stopped USACO training. Why? She's already in MIT Primes and already started research in a MIT research team. So she's pretty much sure she will join MIT next summer and next fall. She's a rising senior. So according to her mom, right, she does not need it anymore. Why? Because right, for a lot of students, right, doing well in the Olympiad contests is to help the college application process. If she's already in, then she does not have to. So now she's doing more realistic research problems. Actually, was doing the USACO, right, involving Farmer John and his cows, right? When I talk about this one, the students have done the training, right, would laugh. Yes, okay, every question is about Farmer John and his cows. Now, in the real research, right, actually, she's not working on cows. Actually, we talked about this once she started there, saying, okay, all the questions is different. Actually, she's working on the genomic data and also promic data. So still huge demand. Actually, the complexity, right, for these questions actually would be even bigger. For whenever you talk about, right, the clinic research, the data is always big, okay? Much bigger than the USACO, right? So I always use the examples, since I also have a background in biomedical research field. Say, these questions are fine. You get a trophy, you get a prize, right? If you solve the question and finish the cases, each one within 4 seconds, right? But actually in real applications, you don't need the 4 seconds, right? Say, I give the example, right? The radiation treatment planning. So for each patient, we don't need 4 seconds to finish processing each patient. If you can finish within, say, 1 minute, 10 minutes, or even say 2 hours, we would be very happy. Why? The patient comes in, with the pictures, images taken, that would take maybe 1 hour, right? And then this patient would be say, you go to another room, take a break, right? Or say have lunch, whatever, right? In the afternoon, come back, we have the radiation treatment planning plan. But that's not the case now. Why? Because now it takes about a week to come up with a treatment plan. So the patient would be sent home and the patient has to make another appointment, may come here back, say, in 2 weeks or sometimes even a month later. So the plan was based on the tumor situation a month ago. So after 2 weeks, a month, tumor has changed, but the plan was still based on the image 2 weeks ago, a month ago. So clearly that's not the best way for the plan, right? If we can improve from say a week to 2 hours, I tell my students, right, I will give you a trophy, right? Actually, the trophy will be much more meaningful than any of the USACO or even ROI trophy, okay? So this is still ongoing prize for all the students, okay? So can they reduce the amount of time from about a week, 6 days, 7 days, right, to say 2 hours? I don't ask them to say finish within 4 seconds per patient, 2 hours, 1 hour. That would be great, great. Okay, so far that is still the case. It's not being resolved, including myself. I cannot make that happen. The goals, okay, so this is what we try to do, right? Initially, we're gonna get students familiar with the programming basics. And then initially, we're gonna start from Java language. Why Java? We're going to make it the same as the high school curriculum, because in high school, every high school, the computer science classes are still taught in Java. And the APCS test also is done using Java. Okay, so we try to say, okay, try to help students, right, make it the same so they can, the training here for introduction, for bronze, for silver, right, would also be helpful for their AP classes, AP tests, right? Starting from gold and platinum, we're going to make sure the students can do both C++ and Java. And Python is a popular language, especially for machine learning, but it is not a popular tool for USACO. Why? Python is still a little bit too slow, even though if a code is written in Java or Python, would be given 4 seconds per case, per test case. But some cases, Python program just cannot finish within the time limit. So it's unfair. Java is still slower than C++, but Java has 4 seconds, C++ has 2 seconds per case. So that is with the time difference, right? That's kind of similar because Java can be 50% of the speed of C++, sometimes even faster. So that's okay. But Python, so far, not yet. So speaking for USACO, we still do Java and C++. But speaking for other applications, other problems, right? Clearly, students are encouraged to do training in Python. And of course, right, Python actually takes less time to get started. So if a student is doing well in C++ or Java, then would take very minimum time to start coding in Python. The goal, right? The second level would be say help students to get promoted to higher and higher levels in USACO. So bronze, silver, gold, platinum, training camp, and then the team, and then LI. And then once they finish in college, if they're still interested, there is also the computing Olympiad for college students. That's ISPC. And if they do well, there is another contest organized by Google, the CAGO. Then there is no restriction. Anybody can join in. So we would encourage students, right, to continue the process. Why? Because for students today, right, for them, the next 10, 20 years, it will be the era for them, the big data, okay? So everybody will talk about AI, talk about machine learning, talk about data mining, right? Can you do this one? If you say, oh yeah, let's talk about it. If you cannot do it or you don't know what it is, say, okay, man, you're out, right? So, so our goal is not just for them to get a trophy, to get a college application assistance, right? Actually, we're aiming for the next generation, for the engineers, for the leaders, right? So hopefully this training will help them for the future job, for the future career. Okay, so hopefully parents can also align this one. So don't ask, hey, Jack, did you improve your title this year? Yeah, of course, if Jack does make progress, that's good, right? If Jack does not, don't make a big deal, okay? All right, so these are the, I tried to come to the questions, right? That's the introduction. So the introduction we want to get students familiar with the basics of Java programming. Again, like I said, right? we chose Java just to align the students with the school environment. In school, they do Java, okay? So these will learn just the basics, okay? Used to be the AP Computer Science A test would include more. Actually, this test, APCS A, was from the APCS AB. The part B contains data structures and algorithms with them, but that part has been dropped out. And this year, well, due to the pandemic, right, this CSA test is actually limited to the very basic of the programming. So you don't have to do any of, say, recursion. You don't have to even do, say, nested loops or two-dimensional arrays. These actually would be very fundamental, but also would be dropped in there. So now APCSA is pretty much aligned the same as introduction. We used to say, right, APCSA-B would be between the Java introduction and also bronze. Now APCSA is more aligned toward the Java introduction. So there is a question, say, if my student has taken the introduction class this year, can he or she take the bronze next year? Yes. The answer is definitely yes. Okay, the next level in our series would be USACO bronze. The bronze used in season 2016, 2017, and then 2017, 2018 would be easier. But in the last 3 years, the contest became harder. Why? The reason is because a lot of students used to work in the USACO side now joined the USACO contest. So these students, they can do very well in the contest USACO. So to separate who can be promoted, who cannot be promoted, right? So the problems are getting harder. So the contents, the materials are pushed down from platinum to gold, from gold to silver, from silver to bronze. Okay, so now bronze, essentially, we're going to have the entry-level bronze and also the advanced bronze. So this course applies to students working on the bronze level and also students who have passed the bronze level. So we're going to see the same. Each level here, right, we're going to have a full-year class. So in the fall semester and also the spring semester. So each student can take the contest when they are taking the class. So maybe in spring, right? In January, the student has passed the bronze and has been promoted to silver, can still take this one. So we're going to make this one a continuous in terms of the spectrum, in terms of difficult level. So we're going to make it the entry level and then go more and more advanced. So once the student finishes the spring semester of the bronze class, he or she would be very prepared, well prepared for the silver training. And then would be kind of the working on the test, the same like the silver, right? Silver spring would be more advanced spring. So applies for students who have passed silver. So used to be said this one would just prepare students for the bronze contest. Now, on one hand, the contest is getting harder. So students take longer time to pass the bronze level. And also we try to make the training more continuous. Not saying, right? On Friday, the student was taking the bronze test. So still bronze level. And then Saturday got the result and say, be promoted to silver, then the silver student. Actually, it's not, right? There's not a big difference on Friday and Saturday. Only the title has changed. So we try to make the transition more continuous, more gradual. All right. So this part we're going to do the still the simple ideas. If a student has an idea about the problem and then just implement it, we don't pay attention to the efficiency. As long as the idea is correct, we're going to implement, and very likely it will pass. It will solve the problem because the size, the problem size is still small. And then starting from the silver level, and we start focus on the efficiency. So the same question, when the problem size gets bigger and bigger, the same idea working for the bronze level may not work for the silver level and higher. Then in this case, we have to find better algorithms, find better data structures. So here, we're going to focus on the complexity. Can you finish the calculation within the time limit? Now, this is the started to get the beauty of the USACO contest. So from the bronze, that's still the entry level. Now starting silver, getting serious, right? So used to be, right, all the structures, algorithms will not be here introduced in silver, but now we have to do this one in silver level. But don't worry, right? We're going to prepare the students year long, and once they finish silver, the students should be very well equipped to pass the silver contest. Okay, the gold actually, in terms of the coverage, would be very similar to platinum. Okay, we have about the 6-7 topics covered in this class. For each one, we're going to introduce the idea and explain how this one can be used. So all the USACO problems, it will not say, okay, please use this technique, right? It will just hide the problem behind the story involving Farmer John and his cows. So students have to be able to identify what topic, what technique, what skill will be used, okay? Starting from the gold level, we're going to ask students start writing the problems. Students will write problems in the USACO style. So they're gonna make the stories about Farmer John and the cows. So by changing this viewpoint, students will experience, right? If I want to make the question this way, right? When another person takes the test, can he or she find my intention here? So when, by changing this one, right, later when I take the test, you can see, okay, by reading this problem, reading this description, what is the real idea, what is the real intention for the person, for the author in this problem? So many times I got the feedbacks to say, okay, yeah, actually this has bring, a new insight to the question, and by changing the viewpoint, sometimes it's very helpful. So that's for the gold. We do have the topics, right? I said the same as platinum, but the difference with the two would say platinum, there is no restriction. Sometimes we have to use 2 or 3 techniques. That in gold, maybe just use 1. Okay, so now platinum is even closer to the ICPC style. That is the computing Olympiad for the college level students. Remember, right, USACO is just for high school students. So this platinum is actually kind of morphed into the ICPC level. And of course, right, for students to do well in this one, they have to work hard. Okay, I want to mention the time spent in each level here. After each class, we're going to have, that's actually the class schedule. After class, we're going to give assignments. Normally would be 3 problems per week. So similar to the USACO style, students may spend up to 4 hours to finish the questions. And then some students may finish sooner, some students may take longer time, but on average, right, 4 or 5 hours. So we encourage students to spend time evenly, maybe on average every day, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or even 1 hour, depending on the level, right? So don't wait till, so Sunday, there is a USACO class, right? I'm going to say, try whether I can solve the questions on Saturday evening. Don't do that way. Rather, maybe spend maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? On Monday, Tuesday, okay? When the student have more projects due, right, then maybe spend less time or spend no time there, but on average, maybe say 10 minutes, even think about it, right? That's helpful. So this one is a math class, is a computer science class, is also a language class. To speak a language, everybody has to practice. So this one, practice is very important. So the schedule, we're going to make each level 1 year-long class, 12 weeks in the fourth semester and 12 weeks in the spring semester. And we'll try to make the difficulty level increase gradually. So you say, I've passed the bronze, say after the fourth semester. So December, right? I finish the class and then I pass the bronze test. Can I jump into the silver class in the next spring? Very likely it's hard for the student to catch on. So still keep the same class. So even though a student has passed the bronze title, can still stay in the bronze class in the spring semester. Okay, in the class, we encourage active interaction among the peers and also with the instructor, because we're gonna learn better from discussion, from argument, right? You say yours is better, I say mine is better. Okay, let's talk about why yours is better. But if I find a mistake in your argument, find a flaw in your design, actually that's better. You can learn better, right? From discussion, learn from problems, right? So when a student has question, confusion, or bug, right? I spent 2 hours, spent 2 days, I could not fix it. Can you help? Very good. So we're going to have all these issues addressed in class. If this applies to, say, not just one student, right? Maybe it is a common issue for most students, then we're going to address them in class. For each semester at the end, right, we're going to have a practice test, and we're going to analyze the results and also the answers. And also the resources. Here, USACO.org is a wonderful, wonderful resource. Okay, even though the staff contains about only 10 people, I'm very, very impressed by them. Actually, Brian is doing a fantastic job, Brian Dean. For others, right, so math, Olympiad, right, physics, well, of course, they have the on-site test. So you see every year, right, so many people have to work together to make that happen. But USACO, right, well, it's online, but they have a very tiny staff, so amazing. Okay, another one is Geeks for Geeks. Okay, I know, right? This name is kind of funny, but I want to have students not just the typical geek image, right? Not the nerdy image. Rather, the students after training, right, can think, can solve the questions, come up with the ideas, right? I can also explain clearly to other people, even explain to people who are not experts in programming, in algorithm development, right? So later they can sell the ideas, sell the products, sell the service. Okay, another one is for UVI Online. This one is used for more by the ICPC for college students. It is a little bit higher than the USACO level, but for students who are very serious to considering the training camp, then I encourage them also to use this one and some others, right? Of course, right? Google is a good resource. Wikipedia would be a good resource, and others, right? And also at the end, yours truly. So when you have questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer the questions. Now, let me go back and see here. Let me answer a few questions here. The question, the last one, if you don't take the fall class, can you take the spring class? It will be hard, okay? Because that's right, the difficulty level goes up gradually. Out of curiosity, what is your favorite coding language? For me, actually, to be honest, now I don't have one favorite coding language. I wrote in C, C++ for a long time, over 10 years, but in the last 6-7 years, I spend more time writing in Java, and then I'm pretty sure, right, in the next 6-10 years, it might change. But if I do more in USACO, still would be probably C++, Java. But if I do more machine learning, then I would do Python. There's a question. There was a USACO problem about COVID-19. Yes, actually, in the past March round, actually, there were not just one question. There were 3 questions about the COVID-19 or the virus. So you see, right? they try to make the questions. Well, the mathematical formulation is the same, but you try to make a story. So hide the idea behind the story. And then when you try to solve it, you try to say, figure out the mathematical formulation, see what is going on there, and then try to solve it. So it's kind of back and forth. How many students are there in the class? We try to limit to about 20, 22, no more than 25 students per class. And if we have more students, then we try to split. So we try to make it more interactive. Okay, so the students are strongly encouraged to participate in the discussion, right? For computer science, that's okay. I also have the experience, right, doing the math Olympiad training. Math is a little bit hard. Why? Because, right, if I draw a picture, I draw a diagram, and then how do a student also join to the same screen? It's a little bit hard. But for programming, that's okay. Actually, I can put my, so this is my code here, my site here. If I start coding here, so temp, I can ask students to write to this screen too. So this makes interaction much more convenient, okay? And also, if I want to see what a student is doing, right, I just say, oh, Jack, can you share your screen? Then we can all see what Jack is doing. But for math class, it's a little bit hard, right? Because I cannot say, okay, Jack, can you share your desktop, share your piece of paper? That's harder. Well, maybe that's the way to go. Maybe in 10 years, 20 years, teaching, learning will be all conducted online, and then everybody will be in the virtual reality. That's fine, but so far, that's not the case. For computer science and also for English class, especially for composition, right, at the writing, this is perfect. So hopefully we're going to have a the good interactive experience. Okay, the last question. Is it possible to advance from silver to platinum in 1 year? Yes. So we can do this way here. A student still is in the bronze class, but can keep going, work on the silver topics, right? So for example, right, a student start from the bronze level in the 4th semester, and actually our class starts from September the 13th. So if a student is well prepared, is motivated, right, can keep going. So even though we say the student has passed bronze level, has passed silver level, it's actually in the gold level now, but we don't have the contest before December, right? So keep doing this one. So when December comes, the students can take the bronze on Friday, take the silver on Saturday, and take the gold on Sunday. So it is possible to be promoted from bronze to gold, from silver to platinum in 1 year. Okay. All right, so I'm going to wrap up here because I do have another class in a little while. So I'm going to give my email here. My email is min.tutoring@gmail.com. So you can send, oops, here. You can send me email with your question. You can also contact Momentum Learning here. You can either call the number here or can send an email to info@momentumlearning.org, right? So either way is fine. And if we're late answering your questions, please allow us some time, because I know, oh, I'm sorry, my email I sent just to me, I should send to everybody. Oops, no, min.tutoring@gmail.com. Okay, this one is from the, okay, ignore this part here. That's a question actually for the next class. The Gmail is here, min.tutoring@gmail, and then the Google Drive link is actually in the announcement. So if you see the announcement, the Google Drive is this one here. So let me also put it here. Okay, the Google Drive is also in your chat. All right. Oh, there is tutoring. I'm sorry. There is main.tutoring@gmail. Thank you. Yeah, there is an N missed. All right. Again, right. Sometimes I'm late. I'm not good at admin, but I promise I will answer your questions, even though it may be late. So please give us more time. If you're in a hurry, right, please contact using the number or the email here, and I'm pretty sure, right, the front desk will be much more responsive. So thank you, everybody. And I'm looking forward to see your students starting in the September.